We can get settled, councillors, please. It's now 2:30. Is there a problem, Leila? Problem there? Okay, all sorted? Okay. Right. Right, councillors. Welcome to the February meeting. And I hope you're all aware of the fact this is going to be the last budget set today by Sedgemoor District Council. So welcome all councillors and any members back there wishing to participate today. I've got a few housekeeping rules to go through before we start. The toilets are at the back of the room. The fire escape are each side. And democratic services will be roving with microphones and wipes today, so please raise your hand when you wish to speak. Moving on to the agenda. Apologies.
Yes, Chairman, thank you very much. Today we have apologies from Councillor Costello, Hayward, Revens, Godwin Pearson, Barber, Slocum, Gibson, Scott, Wong, Redman, Lilly and Gilling.
Thank you, Andrew. Minutes, sorry. Councillor Betty. Councillor Perry. No one else? Right, thank you for that, Andrew. Moving on, item number 2 today, to move the minutes of the council meeting held on the 6th of October as the correct record. Seconded. All those in favour? Thank you. Declarations of interest. Right. John Woodman, yep. Councillor Healy. Councillor Dudridge.
And also 9.3 paraphrasing personal interest, and 9.4 personal interest as a member of the vote in Sedgemoor Board.
Thank you, Councillor Dudridge. Councillor Caswell.
Thank you, Chairman. As a member of the Somerset County Council and also as a member of the Drainage Board.
Thank you. Councillor Keane.
Thank you, Chairman. In the items and 8 and all to do with homes in Sedgemoor, I'm a board member appointed by this council. And on 9.4 and 9.2, a personal interest in the segment that deals with Victoria Park, because this is a citizen's advice to which I am a board member, is a temporary tenant of those premises. The legal advice is that this is a personal interest and nothing prejudicial. Also, I'm a member of the Parrot Drainage Board. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Keane. Councillor Filmer. Right, thank you. Councillor Pay. Drainage Board. Okay. Councillor Dyer. Drainage Board, Chairman. Councillor Human. That's through Drainage Board. Councillor Kingsom. Drainage Board. Councillor Henry. Councillor Betty. Councillor Matthews. Thank you. Councillor Riches. Right. Councillor Pearce. And Helms in Sedgemoor. Councillor Levy. Parrot Drainage Board. Councillor McGinty. Oh, it can't go on like this. Right. Right. And I've got personal interest at a bit later on, and also a member of the Parrot Drainage Board. Right. You're sure we got all this right? Yep. Don't make no mistakes. Okay, Andrew, yes? Yeah. Well done. Well done all. Right. I've got a few announcements today, actually. First of all, I want to just say how sad it was to see Nigel Taylor yesterday and step down as chairman of Somerset District Council. Sorry, Somerset County Council, the president of Somerset County Council, and I'm sure you'll all join me in wishing him the very, very best for his all the future for him and his wife. Okay, thank you. I was quite emotional watching him yesterday and saw him on television, and you know, sounds sort of a fellow. And just a few updates on my recent activity. You aren't going to know it all, but you're going to have a few things I did for Sedgemoor District Council. I attended the Holocaust Remembrance at Burnham about 3 weeks ago, and to commemorate Frank Foley, who did so much during the war, and how topical it is for what have happened today as well. I shouldn't have said that, but I felt I got to. Sorry. And also I attended Wells Cathedral for a Platinum Jubilee service. It was the first one held to commemorate the 70 years of Her Majesty on the throne on a Sunday afternoon. That was singing with a choir and speeches. It was quite a good couple hours, actually. Right, so really, otherwise it's been a bit of a dull period of time for me, really. A lot of local things going on, but you handle that as normal. Right, there's nobody from the public to speak today, and we did expect someone, but he hasn't turned up. Right, okay. So we can go straight on to the agenda then. Item number 6, which is the Council Tax Support Scheme. I'm going to hand over to the leader, Duncan McGinty, to present the report and to propose recommendations.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, members. Just to propose the 3 recommendations that are on the agenda sheet today. This is bringing our council tax policy up to date in line with government legislation, as we do every year.
Thank you. It was a question really in connection with this. Obviously, the 3rd of February, the government announced a £150 council tax rebate for households in bands A to D. I understand that guidance for councils was only just published yesterday, 20 days after the announcement. So possibly you may not have had time to digest that guidance yet, but I would be interested to know what kind of impact, if any, that government rebate will have on Sedgemoor's own council tax support scheme. And how that might impact it. Thank you.
I could waffle on for a bit and say, but as you say, the information only came out yesterday, which we're currently digesting. I don't know whether Mrs. Turner can give any further update, but as soon as we have all the information as to how it will apply to our residents, both those in benefits and those not, we will issue that note to members.
So, all those in favour, could you show, please? It's unanimous, looks like it. Any against? Any abstentions? Right, thank you. I missed out one little bit, actually, in my chairman's announcements. Councillor Evans has got the old COVID at present, and I'm sure the council wish him all the best, because it's lasting a little bit of time, this one, seemed like it. Okay, so I have to say it, right? Thank you. All the best to him. Right, item number 7, the housing funding. The Penley House development. Andrew Gilling was going to present and propose this recommendation, but the thing is, he's held up in heavy traffic. So I'm going to call upon the leader to present this, if I could, please.
Pleasure in finally putting forward this recommendation, certainly for the Penley housing development, which is agenda item 7. There is an increase in cost, but the type of housing and the current situation with COVID has forced increasing costs, and I hope members will agree the recommendation so that we can get on with the development as soon as possible.
Have I got a second for that, please? Thank you, Councillor Healy. Any debate? Councillor Bruce.
Thank you, Chair. Leader, I'd like to thank officers really for managing to limit as much as possible the increase in the COVID and the supply chain related costs. There are a few questions that I've got though. I'd like to know why we need to use a Homes England grant. If using right to buy receipts for the development, we could have affordable rents which are better for our community. They could be charged rather than the higher affordable rent levels that have been proposed. So do you want me to go question by question, or I've got 3?
Do all 3.
All 3, okay.
Yeah, thank you.
In relation to section 7.4, could you please explain to me what the impact of the 40-year payback term will have on the council and all the accommodation compared to the normal 30-year term? I'd also like to know the headline project outcomes in the report refers to the demand for housing in part caused by the HPC worker uplift. So I'd like to know why this project is not patching HPC housing money. Thank you. Yeah.
May have to give you a written answer on some of those. Certainly the impact of the 30-40 year, the majority of housing associations use 40 or 45. We've been fortunate in recent years to only use 30-year payback periods, but due to the increase in costs, we felt it prudent this time to go to a 40-year. The actual impact, I will have to defer to Mrs. Turner.
So thank you. Just in terms of the payback period, as the leader has said, we've always used in terms of our parameters 30 years, but housing associations and a lot of other organisations use 40, 45, even 50, and they changed that when the rent levels went down, when the government gave the rent levels down to make things viable still, so they still carry on doing development. So it means that we're obviously the payback period is longer, but the housing revenue account can sustain that. We've built that into the figures, and it doesn't have a massive impact on the housing revenue account. But clearly it would be better if it was 30-year payback period. I think some of the more detailed questions you asked would probably be better with a written response rather than me trying to answer those today.
You happy with that, Councillor Bruce? Okay, thank you for that, Leader. Right, so I'll ask, any more debate on this one? So all those in favour, please. It looks unanimous, but I'll ask for any abstentions? No. Thank you very much, Council. And the Leader will respond in writing to your questions. Right, okay. Lovely. Item number 8 today. I just see Councillor Gilling. Welcome, Andrew.
It's on. Yes, it's on. Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I apologise for my entirely late arrival. The A38 was blocked for the road traffic accident of some description, but I couldn't get through.
Okay, and do you want to take item number 8, or shall we still let the Leader do it, shall we? Because you're not relaxed enough, possibly.
If somebody can stand in, I'd be very grateful.
Yeah, and that's the housing funding, the Sydenham Garage Scheme development. And my Leader will take this one, if you could, please. Yeah.
Happy to put forward 2 recommendations: the revised budget and the delegation. Again, it's another welcome addition to our housing stock through the housing revenue account.
Okay. Have I got a seconder for that? 2 seconds, Andrew, or an answer, yeah. Any debate on this one? None at all? Right, show of hands and please, all those in favour? Looks unanimous again. No abstentions? Right, thank you, councillors. Right, item number 9, recommendations from executive and other committees. 9.1, appointment of external auditors. There's a recommendation from Audit and Standards Committee on the 6th of December 2021. I will now hand over to Councillor Julie Pay to propose recommendations.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm happy to recommend these actions.
Thank you. Is that seconded? Councillor Human, thank you very much. Any debate on this, councillors? None whatsoever. Right, can I have a show of hands and please, all those in favour? Looks unanimous again. No abstentions. Right. Right, moving on, 9.2. Community infrastructure, the village and community halls. The recommendation from Leader of the Council on the 9th of February 2022. I now hand over to Councillor Duncan McGuinty to compose the recommendations.
Thank you, Chairman. 2 recommendations, 4 parts in the first recommendation. Happy to put them before Council for approval. And in doing so, say how welcome it is that we're able to help these village halls and community centres.
Have I got a seconder, please? Thank you, Councillor Caswell. Thank you. Any debate on this, councillors? Right, so I'm going to ask for a show of hands then, please. All those in favour? Looks unanimous. No one against? No, no abstentions? Right, it is unanimous. Thank you, councillors, for being positive. Thank you very much. Oh, Lance, Councillor Duddridge, yeah. How far has he gone? He ain't gone at the Compass, has he? If so, he was disappointed because the Compass had their last meal last night. They're just closing. They're going to refurbish it all to one of these modern places. Yeah. I'm sure you'd like to know that. I think he has gone at the Compass. There he is. Welcome back, Councillor Duddridge. Right. Item 9.3. It's the General Fund, the Council Tax Set 2022-2023. And this will be the last one that Sedgemoor will be setting. So it's over to you, Leader.
Thank you, Chairman. Can you hear me? Good. Over the past 17 years, I usually start off my budget speech along the lines of it gives me great pleasure to present this year's budget proposals. Sadly, today it's with very mixed emotions that I present Sedgemoor District Council's last formal budget. I'm immensely proud of what has been achieved, not only in the past year, but over the last 48 years. In equal measures, I'm immensely sad to be the last leader of such a wonderful council. Notwithstanding, I'm gratified to be able to present another balanced budget alongside my fellow political group leaders, Councillor Brian Smedley and Councillor Bill Revens in absentia. We have put together a joint budget with suggestions from each political group. This is not a budget for grand gestures, posturing or political point scoring, rather more a budget that will continue to build on the past year's steady success that Sedgemoor has achieved. through its prudent forward thinking, financial management and commitment to maintaining services to the residents of Sedgemoor. It provides exceptional groundwork for the new council and leaves ready-to-go projects in many areas, and a council in an excellent financial state. Yet again, there are no cuts to service, and our good financial management allows us to provide additional funding for projects and services throughout the district of Somerset. Together, we have risen to the challenge that's been put in place measures so that our residents will not see a reduction in our commitment or service to them, as well as providing additional funding for projects across the district. It's an inclusive budget which will provide for the future of Sedgemoor until March 2023. To the detail then. Firstly, we will be putting an additional £500,000 into work towards preparing for a new council. The amount of additional work that our staff are dealing with is immense, so this fund will allow for backfilling posts, ensuring that services are maintained for our residents, but we're also taking a proactive role in shaping the new council. Since 2015, we've been investing in our apprentice scheme, supporting over 55 young people. To date, we have invested £1.5 million for training and development of our apprentices, building a stronger workforce for the challenges in local government. We will continue this work with the additional £20,000 being added to the significant funding already invested in the scheme. As fully discussed at the executive a couple of weeks ago, I'm pleased we can invest over £750,000 into 4 community halls across the district. This will make sure that they continue to be the cornerstone of their communities, an invaluable and important part of neighbourhood life, and are mostly run by hard-working volunteer committees. In addition, we will be setting up a £500,000 fund for rural village hall and community halls. These halls will be able to apply for up to £50,000 per hall for capital/building works, as we know they are the focal point or hub outside of our larger town. Whilst on the subject of community facilities, we're setting aside an additional £150,000 for playground equipment across the district, along with the additional funding for ongoing maintenance. This will speed up the replacement of ageing equipment with modern, brighter, more play value for our younger residents. At the request of Bream Parish Council, we will be taking over the management of Bream Beach from the beginning of April. To make sure that we're fully staffed and equipped, £100,000 is being spent on items such as an additional staff, beach vehicles, and improvements to toilets and facilities. This will make sure that it is well managed, flexibly used, and a safe beach that we can hand over smoothly, so that we can hand over smoothly running resorts to the new Somerset Council in April 2023. We continue to support the citizens' advice with additional funding continuing for a second year to the tune of £180,000 to help them continue their excellent service to our residents in the form of money advice and COVID advice. This funding is in addition to the ongoing core grant. Within Bridgewater, we will be investing £171,000, specifically £12,000 towards lighting at the YMCA skate park to allow the excellent facility to be enjoyed for more hours, £30,000 plus £50,000 SIL funds to the Meads Eco Park for the provision of a boardwalk and give all year round access and support to the park run route. £20,000 will go for the Bridgewater Sports project to be set aside for the development and feasibility study in partnership with Bridgewater United Football Club to develop a new sports hub. Children's play area and dog walking within the Bristol Road areas as well. £20,000 to continue the excellent work of the Sydenham and Highbridge pantry projects to develop. Also £20,000 to develop a feasibility study into the provision of community facilities in Bower. A further £19,000 will go towards a feasibility study for the future use of that iconic building in Penny or Loo, the classic buildings. Within other parts of Sedgemoor, we'll be putting £50,000 into a Burnham-on-Sea and Highbridge High Street task force, £50,000 for a feasibility study for the Strawberry Line in Cheddar, and £100,000 to fund changing places toilets installed in Burnham and Cheddar, which will complement the changing places facilities which is being built in the North Gate Yard in Bridgewater. Finally, £50,000 for 4 all-terrain wheelchairs to make the visitor attractions in Sedgemoor more accessible. And so to council tax. Our proposal is simple. We're proposing to increase the Band D tax by £5 a year. This, I believe, delivers our commitment to maintain Sedgemoor's proportion of the council tax at an affordable level, while providing a base from which to continue investing in new and exciting services in the future. Chairman, members of the council, this concludes our budget and the budget for Sedgemoor, which I commend to you for the forthcoming year.
Have I got a seconder for that, please? Thank you very much, Leader. Thank you. Councillor Smedley.
Thank you very much. Obviously, I'd like to speak on behalf of the opposition here. Did you want to take Councillor Keane first?
Councillor Keane first, then, yes.
I thought it might be a point of order or something.
Go on, Councillor Keane, please, then.
Thank you. I wish to say how very welcome this budget is, but it's a continuation of all the good work that we have experienced over the last year. From personal involvement, I can say that the citizens' advice, since the end of November last year, they have been able to service 800 queries per week, which is a phenomenal amount, mainly to do with the household support grants. And in the community facilities for the youth and other aspects, I know from, again, personal involvement in casework, this has made a huge difference to the quality of life of people who may not feel that they have much involvement with us. So I can only thank the leader and for the finance staff for the way that this budget has been done, and I welcome it very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Keane. Now, over to Councillor Brian Smedley, please, to respond to the Leader.
So thank you very much. I think it's appropriate today, as maybe elsewhere in the world, that we have this last-minute armistice as Sedgemoor goes into its final year, not quite making 50. I'm sure many of you are sad that they didn't quite make 50. But it's a positive and welcome offer by the Leader for all parties to contribute to this great closing down sale. So we've contributed our ideas. Those are largely the work in progress that Sedgemoor's been involved in over the years, that we've been pushing from where we have majority representation in the Bridgewater area, things that were never quite concluded. And I'm not apportioning any blame for that, nor will I be if you suspect any politics in what I say today. I'm not apportioning any blame for that. Sedgemoor has to look to its legacy and what comes next for future successor councils. As has been mentioned, the skate parks were a cross-party initiative a few years back. We got skate parks across the town, and the major one in the YMCA. They didn't have any lights at the time. The local skaters have been asking for lighting. It's a welcome support to get them to finally have the lighting to that skate park. So let's get that done. HAMP has been an area that's long been in need of support. There's a phase now where we need to provide the community facilities in that area. It's good to see that included there. We need to reclaim our wild open spaces, and the Meads is a great project. That is something that the town and the district can be proud of for support. The Meads Eco Park. Sport and health are very important to people. The initiatives, since we've had the Bridgewater United football team in the area, Bridgewater's never been a footballing town, but with the recent initiatives, I think we are. It's been good to have a team and a town with consistent results that you can be proud of. You know what I'm thinking about. But Bridgewater United, you saw they had Man United women down here the other week. I think that's a really good initiative to support. The Sydenham Pantry is something that came up during the pandemic period, and something that the local communities are very supportive of, and this council should be involved in. Maybe the Victoria area needs one as well, but these are something that I'm glad people are supporting. And also, you'll have noticed the east of the town in particular, the town is expanding into the green spaces, into the King's Isle area, into the Bridgewater without. And we don't want to make the same mistakes that I think were made in the Wilsdock and Stockmore area when infrastructure wasn't a priority and is now only being addressed at a later stage. So we don't want that to happen. We support thought about community provision in advance of that. And finally, the two eyesores in the town, the Salmon Parade Hospital and the Penal Olu Classic buildings, long been something that people might see as a sign of neglect. Now, I know that Sedgemoor have taken a great initiative with the hospital site and the Penal Olu iconic building that you see there going back to the 1930s needs to be focused as well. So it's indeed a truce, of course, at the moment. We close one chapter of local government history, 1974 to 2023, when this all winds up. And it's a period that started for us with the abolition of the historic Bridgewater Borough and the replacement with the Sedgemoor district. We won't be referring to that at all as direct rule from Cheddar or Burnham today. We'll be totally apolitical about that and look forward to the days when local councils and parishes and towns can maybe try to pull something out of the fire of this unitary council, which we all agreed a few months ago was going to be too big and too remote. And with losing that strategic inclusion of Sedgemoor and the districts, could well be seen to be lacking in some checks and balances. So we hope that the transfer of assets and so on and services to the local successor authorities is something positive that can come out of this. I think in recent years, Sedgemoor's worked very well with the town council. I don't think that's always been the case, but in recent years, I think it has, and we need to pay tribute where tribute's due. And I put a lot of that down to the leader. I think the leader has worked well in supporting the aims of Bridgewater, particularly, and taking us on board with those. And we support the council's move to particularly the Northgate project, a very important project, particularly with the council house building programme. That's also a very important one. We can't not mention the devoted, hard-working staff that Sedgemoor has brought to the centre of Bridgewater during this time and across the district. So I think all those things need mentioning. This is a truce because there will be new battlefronts opened up in the new unitary, I'm sure. So see you all there.
Thank you very much, Councillor Brian Smedley. Very well spoken. Councillor Phil Harvey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As we seem to be looking back as well as looking forward, although I can't claim to have been a member at the time of the formation of Sedgemoor, at least I can say one thing: my father was one of your senior officers. So I have a family connection with both the start of this council and now the end of it. I think I'd like to start by, first of all, thanking all the work that the officers have done and are doing for the next 10 months. It's always a difficult time to be a local government officer, but I think now is a particularly difficult time. For some of them, they will be looking at possible redundancies. Others will be thinking, is this the right sort of place for me to stay? Do I want to stay in this new organisation? But whatever their personal feelings, it is apparent that our officers are working extremely hard in order to both maintain services and to prepare for the new situation, which has already been said, none of us here particularly like. The leader has spoken about this being, if you like, a unity budget, and it is that. We have had contributions from all three parties in this chamber. And I'd just like to pick up on some of the things that in this smallest of the parties you have very graciously enabled us to do. It would be very remiss of me if I did not, for me to disappoint Councillor Healy by not mentioning toilets. And as you will see, one of the things that the Liberal Democrat put forward was the provision of better disabled toilets in 2 venues. So I'm sure that will make Mark very happy. We also were responsible for putting forward the idea of the all-terrain wheelchairs. Now, these are have been used in a number of seaside resorts, and they actually do work on soft sand, which, given that all of the beaches in Sedgemoor do have soft sand in places as well as mud, will, we hope, be something that brings an extra attraction to our seaside resorts. The other area that we have concentrated on is effectively the tourist economy. The money for the Strawberry Line will enable the sorts of things like determining access and land ownership along that line to be sorted out, and this will work very well with the Levelling Up Fund bid that is presently being prepared by our officers, where the Strawberry Line in Cheddar is one of the items that we will be putting forward to the government for consideration in the spring, whatever the spring means in government terms. It could be anything from March to October sometimes, I feel, but that is one thing we were doing. And the money to build on the government's High Street task force for Burnham will be extremely welcome. As Burnham members will know, the retail position in Burnham is, I think, probably best to say, delicate. We have had 2 years of lack of tourists, and in this year we have a cost of living crisis, and who knows how many people will have any money to spend on our tourist economy. And the tourist economy is very important for Sedgemoor and for Somerset as a whole. It is a significant factor, and I hope that those members who are successful in being elected to the new authority will remember that we do rely on tourism to a great extent, and it is something we need to nurture. And the ability to have some £50,000 to look at the recommendations that come out of the High Street Task Force and trying to begin to implement them in Burnham will, I think, be very useful and very important. I worry about, it's being very parochial, I know, but I do worry about the Burnham Town Centre at the moment. We're actually in a position, for those who don't know, where we have not just a Chamber of Trade and Commerce, which has always represented the town centre traders, but now we have a new group, the Burnham Retail Group. And it's very much to my worry to have two groups representing the same group of people. But that is what has happened. And I think that having some influence from an external body may help to actually get those groups working together with the town council, together with this council, and all the other bodies that make up a successful retail offer. And that is something that we definitely need. So I express my thanks for that money that will help us to get that way forward. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Councillor Harvey. Is there any more debate on the budget? Councillor Leader.
Thank you, Chairman. Just to say thank you very much for the comments that have been made. There were one or two other items that were put forward by members of both or all three parties. One item of which was the provision of electrical charging points for vehicles. I haven't included those at this stage because we have already previously committed £400,000 to place electrical charging points throughout the district. So that money is already there.
Thank you very much, Councillor McGinty. Thank you very much, Leader. Any more debate? I'm now going to ask actually for Andrew and Melanie to take names, and this will be a recorded vote. Either in favour, you're against, or you abstain.
If you could say, as the chairman has said, whether you're for, against or abstaining, please. So starting with Councillor Betty. For. Councillor Bolt. For. Councillor Bradford. For. Councillor Bruce. For. Councillor Caswell. For. Councillor Clayton. For. Councillor Crowe. For. Councillor Duddridge. For. Councillor Dyer. For. Councillor Facey. For. Councillor Filmer. For. Councillor Finneran. For. Councillor Gilling. For. Councillor Glassford. For. Councillor Grimes, Councillor Harvey, Councillor Healy, Councillor Hendry, Councillor Human, Councillor Keane, Councillor Kingham, Councillor Levy, Councillor McGuinty, Councillor Matthews, Councillor Methley, Councillor Pay, Councillor Pearce, Councillor Riches, Councillor Rodriguez, Councillor Smedley, and Councillor Woodman. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Lily.
Unanimous.
I don't call of Andrew to. It's unanimous. Thank you very much, councillors. The vote is unanimous. Thank you very, very much. And as chairman, can I say it's nice to see everybody work together in these funny old times. You know, no one knows what the future holds anywhere at the moment. One thing or the other going on, and I do think the success of Sedgemoor really is the fact that you can have argy-bargy and debate and all the rest of it. But at the end of the day, it gets back to a lot of good decisions, a lot of common sense, which the whole area benefits from. And don't forget the staff involved in a lot of these things. So, as chairman at the moment, thank you very much, councillors. Councillor McGuinty. I thought your hand went. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Right, item 9.4, the housing revenue account. That's the rent set for 2022-2023. A recommendation from the leader, please, if I could.
It gives me great pleasure to put forward the 6 recommendations on the housing revenue account for next year. Thank you.
Is that seconded? Thank you, Councillor Gilling. Any debate on this, councillors? Nope. Right then. I'll ask for a show of hands again then, please. Although, sorry. It's a recorded vote again, sorry. Yeah, I bound to get something wrong, that was it. Yeah, right.
Matter, it does require a recorded vote to be taken, so we'll go through the list again. So, Councillor Betty, could you please say whether you're for, against or abstaining? For. Councillor Bolt. Councillor Bradford.
For.
Councillor Bruce. Councillor Caswell. For. Councillor Clayton. For. Councillor Crowe. For. Councillor Duddridge. For. Councillor Dyer. For. Councillor Facey. For. Councillor Filmer. For. Councillor Finneran. For. Councillor Gilling. For. Councillor Glassford. For. Councillor Grimes. For. Councillor Harvey. For. Councillor Healy. For. Councillor Hendry. For. Councillor Human. For. Councillor Keane. For. Councillor Kingham. For. Councillor Levy. For. Councillor McGuinty. For. Councillor Matthews. For. Councillor Methley. Councillor Pay. Councillor Pearce. Councillor Riches. Councillor Rodriguez. Councillor Smedley. Councillor Woodman.
That's unanimous, Chairman.
Thank you very much, Melanie. It sounds unanimous, councillors, so the motion is carried. Thank you very much. Right. Moving on, next is an exempt report. And I have to ask all members of the public, if they're here, and any press to leave the room if possible, please. You want one? Right, okay. Right.
That's the end of the sound then.
Just stop recording, okay. Right.
Now.
All recording stop, you're okay, have a bit of space, right.
Yeah, so just after.